Denim, man, you have the ultimate cowboy name, and here you are in a bunkhouse with Ryan and Teeter and Lloyd and Walker and Laramie. Did you talk to Sheridan about, man? Let me go with Denim. I can do Denim instead of Colby.
No, I Taylor, he's just he kind of gets these names. Even when I read Colby, I was like, it just feels very close to my personality, anyways. So we never really breached that. I'm certain that he would have said something like, "Yeah, Denton was my second option." But Colby seems to be very fitting. And I feel like I've been able to really, kind of connect with that character. So it's been really exciting, and it's such an enjoyable experience to just kind of embrace, Colby and his journey, especially in the bunkhouse with all the amazing artists and actors that are in the bunkhouse.
Yeah, you've got a wild bunch in that bunkhouse, and one is Jefferson White, who we talked to last week. And so when we were talking about tough guys in the bunkhouse, your name came up, but he prefaced it by saying you were Orange County tough. I want to know what that means. Tell me about
Oh
being
my
Orange County tough. Are you a scrapper?
Unbelievable, Jefferson White, Orange County tough. It's like a compliment with like a little with a little bite on the back of it. I think that I'm tough. I don't fight. I tend to think that I have some things to lose, but I can fight. And the Orange County thing just it happens to be where I grew up, but it doesn't have anything to do with what's in my blood. So I will say as much as we let's just keep that to what it's supposed to be. Let's hope that we never have to see how tough I really am.
All right. Hey, do you want to throw a little dirt Jefferson's way, especially after last night's episode where he has to go down at the 4 6s, man?
Well, it's okay, because the reality of it is, Jeff and I, we have these shots against each other all the time, and so, he's, having 9 cups of coffee at the bodegas in New York City, so it's okay. So, when he gets hopped up on coffee, who knows what might come out of his mouth. So I'm just going to chalk this one up to maybe when he did the interview, he was on like his ninth or 10th cup of like Americana and just didn't really think about what he was saying.
The first 2 seasons, we get these little glimpses of your character Colby in the bunkhouse. We get him scrapping in bars. We get all these, just kind of ancillary scenes. They bring in Jen Landon season 3, Teeter, of course, and you've really had just so much more character development with her on those one-on-one scenes. When they brought her in, was that something that you were kind of cognizant of?
Yeah, Taylor was really, really excited about Jen, because rightfully so, but she's such a great artist. And I think it was like halfway maybe through season 2, or something of that nature. And I remember we were coming out of doing a bunkhouse scene, and Taylor was there. He's like, "Damn, you got to see this," and he pulls up his phone, and he was showing us like her audition tape, and I was like really confused because he was so excited about it, and I was like, but you can't understand anything that she's saying in the audition. Like usually the point, like usually the mode of a successful audition is how articulate you're able to be. But Taylor's like, no, that's the whole point. And I was like, okay, and she's gonna come on the show, she's gonna poke you and prod you and all these other things. I'm like, all right, cool. So it was something that we kind of I knew about maybe a year before, and so it was very very exciting, just to be able to see her, to see the development, obviously to see Colby's opportunity, to do some different things that have a little bit more, I guess, autonomy, and for the audience to kind of get to know his character a little bit more, especially in such a different way, other than kind of the interaction with all the other men that are in the bunkhouse. So it's been such an exciting and very very interesting opportunity to really kind of ad lib some things as well.
I think that also speaks to you as an actor that Sheridan cared enough about the Colby character and what you brought to it that he decided to have a little bit more development with Teeter. That's got to make you feel good as an actor.
Yeah, Taylor, he's such a phenomenal artist, and he's such a phenomenal writer and showrunner, director. He's really just checked every box at this point. And so to be able to be a part of a show like Yellowstone, and then to be able to have also had the opportunity where your character is looked at as the want or the desire, the need to have more development with. For me as a man first, but then also of course as an artist, it's nice because it shows the that you're being seen and that what you're doing is working. And that's such an amazing thing, because I mean, look at all the amazing artists that make up the show. It's not a number one show for any given reason. It starts, with obviously with Taylor, but with all these other amazing men and women that make up this cast. So, for myself to get the opportunity to kind of, put my 2 cents in the water of Yellowstone and really make a splash has really been a phenomenal blessing.
Yeah, you just mentioned all these great actors: Costner, Cole Hauser, Kelly Riley, Wes Bentley. You can go on and on. You've been part of this thing now for 4 years. When you look at it big picture wise and where you've come from as an actor, what does that mean to you in that sense? What kind of things are you learning that you're taking away to your future as an actor?
Yeah, no, one of the things that as an actor, I think, your entire life, when you want to be an actor, whatever that means to everyone, the individual, as you start to get older and you start to look around and you've done, some like guest stars and co-stars and things of that nature. And then, as you start to understand things a little bit more, you're then like, oh man, I just want to get on a series. And then when you kind of not only I had the opportunity to get on a series, but you get on a series from the beginning, from the pilot, and then kind of go all the way on. It really has allowed, especially now, for 4 seasons, it's really allowed for a different level of maturity, I think, for me as an artist. I've learned so much from Taylor and from obviously from Kevin, but from all of the amazing executive producers like Stephen K. And we've had so many directors that have come on. So it's really helped my business mind as well. But just also the opportunities, obviously, that come from being on a hit show like Yellowstone. For now 4 seasons, as you had mentioned as well. So for me, I'm really just taking advantage of striking while the fire is hot. This show is such a phenomenal opportunity. It's being seen by everyone all over the world. You get people from Australia and the UK and all these other Russia. They're like, oh, Yellowstone, and they never rode a horse before, but now they're looking for horse riding lessons. So I feel like Taylor should be getting residuals from horse riders all over the world. But those are those types of things, and wherever the most high takes me in my career, obviously Yellowstone will have played a tremendous role, and I'll always have such gratitude, to Taylor and everyone at Paramount and Viacom for allowing me to have such a great opportunity on this show.
Yeah, you've got a bit of a background in horsemanship. I saw that you did some early equestrian work as a youngster, and I think just as a casual fan watching the show who understands a little bit about horsemanship, you have such a level of comfortability on a horse. You can see it in the way you hold the reins, how you get on and get off, just that general horsemanship. Tell me about your early work in that sense.
Yeah, my dad, rides a lot of horses. He's, kind of like he's a cowboy. He trains horses, does, horse breaking. So he takes horses that have been abused and things of that nature and does rehabilitation with them. So I've had a really great opportunity to kind of, it's not an unnatural thing. And actually, and even prior to doing Yellowstone, I had just come off of doing another film where it was also a Western. So we were riding horses. So it was really awesome to kind of just like stay in this pocket. But, as I was getting older, I never saw myself in the world of Westerns, just because you don't really have that many men of color that have been written into those roles, even though historically, based off like real history, we've been very, very prevalent in those roles. So, to kind of come and to kind of see what Taylor has done and really giving us the authentic experience of a Yellowstone, because the one thing we can all tell everyone is that, those horses are not, computer generated. So, we're really on those horses and those horses are really doing their thing. So that's been a tremendous experience. But we also have, some of the best trainers and wranglers in the world, all on Yellowstone, just focused and fixated off of making a handful of us look super competent. So, as much as I, want to give my dad obviously a tremendous amount of credit for giving me the opportunity to be comfortable. I also want to give a lot of credit to our amazing wranglers that we have on Yellowstone, that really allow us to not have to pay so much attention of like how to get them here and here. They've trained us to, along with the horses, to just be able to focus on doing what we do best first, which is, be able to act.
All right, man. Here's one of my Denim fun facts. You're classically trained in opera.
Yeah.
Give me a little note. I want to hear Denim sing some opera.
Oh gosh. Will you just like a note or something?
Yeah, just give us a little tease.
Oh gosh.
Now I've got to have a Ryan Bingham, Denim Richards duet album. Is that even possible? Can we do that?
Yeah, Ryan's working on it. Yeah, Ryan's, maybe one day, I can convince him to just drag me along with him in the studio. I'm sure that he'll let me record something, but whether or not it will ever come out, do not get your hopes up. Maybe on the outtakes.
One of the things that I know that is great about being on the set of Yellowstone is your craft services with Gator. Now, that man keeps you fed. Tell me about kind of your top 2, 3, 4 favorite Gator meals on set.
Gator, it's so interesting. Gator's like a staple where it's almost like, I feel like when people get onto the show, the first thing they're like, okay, look, I'll sign the contract, but is Gator still catering? And then they're like, yeah, he is. Okay, they're like, okay, where do I sign? But Gator, he's one of the few that like it's his whole passion is food. And he makes a killer. It's like this Louisiana stew. And I remember, and I say this one because I just remember the day that we were filming, and it was like 2 or 3 in the morning in Utah. I think this was like season 3, maybe. And I just remember it was so bitterly cold, and we were just on these horses, and we're going after buffalo. We're just doing take after take. And then all of a sudden you smell something wafting through the mountains, and then you see like this giant cast iron pot with just boiling steam just coming out of it. So they say cut, and we're getting ready to turn around. So we naturally all just like jump off of our horses, and we run over, and there's like this savory, you're full before you've even tasted anything because of the smell of it. And it's just everything that you need. And this is what Gator does, and for me, one of the great things is like he has a great memory. So before you even are going to say, Gator, can I have, he's already handing you something outside of the truck, practically shoving it into your mouth. So with Gator, we become like little children wanting, mother's milk, for us on Yellowstone.
All right, man. Last one for you. I know you guys like to keep the cards close to your chest in the Sheridan universe. Give me just a little tease about Colby's future.
Colby it's going to be very, very interesting. I think some of the things that are going to happen with Colby, I think, will be a little bit unexpected. But people message it's very, very interesting because you'll get people writing you all the time saying like, hey, I really think that this is what's going to happen with Colby. And you're like, are you reading the scripts? Have these scripts been leaked to you? But you can't respond to them, because I'm like, how did you, like, for an example, this is not on the Colby thing, but it was like season 2, like episode 4 or something like that. I remember somebody wrote to like myself and maybe Jefferson, and they're like, yeah, we know that clearly the reason why Beth hates Jamie is because Jamie got her sterilized when she had an abortion. And we're like reading this, and we're like, how did they get here? Like, how does it? But of course, you can't say anything. So I will say this, that some of the fans have already written to me about what they think Colby's future is and what's going to happen. And there's been 2 of them, and they are completely correct. So give some guesses when this comes out. Write me some guesses, and then who knows what we can do. Maybe when that episode that happens, either this season or next season, we'll do a gift card or a dinner or something like that. Because clearly you're so in tune with Yellowstone, you should be brought on as a writer.